Welcome students. Today I will discuss the refraction on plane surface. This year it is not evaluated, it will be not evaluated in ISC exam, but it is very important for us because afterwards that refraction through prism or lens, all these are based on these ideas. So you should know this chapter very well. So I am discussing, please concentrate. First, refraction means what? The definition of refraction you have learned in lower classes, that when light travels from one optical medium to another optical medium, it bends, and this bending property is known as refraction. I think it is not the correct definition. The correct definition, you have to say when light enters from one optical medium to another optical medium, then the speed of light or velocity of light changes as well as the direction changes. So you have to introduce the speed of light. You have to introduce the change of speed of light during change of medium. Okay? And the basic formula, basic law of this chapter is that Snell's law. What is this? That this is a medium, light ray incident here at an angle I and refracted. This is R. So this is the initial direction, it bends. And you know that which direction it will bend. From rarer to denser, it will bend towards the normal, and when it goes from denser to rarer, it bends away from normal. It is a reversibility principle. Now we know that sine I proportional to sine R. But here we have to mention for two particular medium and a particular color of light. For two particular medium and a particular color of light, then sine I proportional to R, or sine I equal to mu into sine R. This mu constant, mu equal to sine I by sine R. That mu is known as refractive index. Refractive index. And this is denoted by Ri. Okay, so we have one constant to make the relation between I and R. That constant is called refractive index. Now this refractive index, we have two types. One is absolute, another is relative. Relative and absolute. Relative means, absolute means what? When absolute, when light travels from vacuum to any optical medium, then we find the absolute one. So this is the vacuum, her speed is C0 and enters here. This is C medium. So we can write here that absolute Ri mu m equal to speed of light in vacuum by speed of light in medium. And in the case of relative Ri, light ray travels from one optical medium to another optical. This is one medium, this is two medium. Here speed is 1 C1, here speed is C2. So we can write here 1 mu 2 equal to speed at 1 by speed at 2. So we have to give the importance to the speed I said earlier. In the case of refraction, we can define in this way. When light travels from vacuum to any medium, then we find only the absolute R. But when light travels from one optical medium to another optical medium, then we find relative R. Now relative R means speed of light in two medium, and here speed of light in vacuum and speed of light in the medium. Now we can establish one relation between absolute and relative R. How? Let light travels from first medium to second medium. Here the angle of incidence is I1. Here the angle of refraction is I2. So 1 mu 2. Then we can write here 1 mu 2 equal to sine I equal to speed of light at a C1 by speed of light at second medium. So speed ratio. Now This can be divided by C1 by C0, C2 by C0. C0 is the speed of light in vacuum. So here we can write 1 by mu1, 1 by mu2. Then 1 mu2 equal to mu2 by mu1. So you can say that apparent refractive index is the ratio of relative, absolute, relative or the relative Ri is the ratio of absolute Ri's. Okay. Now with this idea we can represent the Snell's law in different form. So when we are trying to find out the relative Ri, then we are taking the Ri of the absolute, the absolute Ri of the mediums. Now with this idea we can convert the Snell's law in different form. How? Let light ray travels from first medium to second medium, then we know that 1 mu2 equal to sine I1 by sine I2. This is very basic formula. Now we can write here mu2 by mu1 equal to sine I1 by sine I2, or mu1 sine I1 equal to mu2 into sine I2. So see, this medium, the mu1 is the absolute Ri into that angle at that medium, and that is the absolute Ri of the second medium and angle in this at that medium. So they are separated. So each medium with own angle, that we have to consider. Now moving to the next topic. When light ray travels through any parallel glass plate, then the total deviation of light ray is 0, and means the incident ray and emergent ray, they remains parallel to each other. Let's see, this is the parallel glass plate. Here light ray is incident, and this is the initial direction, but this angle is I, so it will bend towards the normal. This is R. Now when it will go out from the, then again it will move away. So this angle is I. Now you see this incident ray and that emergent ray, they are parallel to each other, and this is the thickness T. So what is the shift? What is the shift? This is this incident ray, this is emergent ray, they are parallel, but there is a perpendicular distance between these two. This is called shift. And what is the shift? Let this is the shift. Let P, Q, R, S be the optical path. And then shift is that RT. RT is the shift, and RT by QR equal to what? This angle. This angle is what? I minus R. Sine of I minus R. Sine of I minus R. Then RT equal to QR into sine I minus R. Now this QR factor, it is remain inside the glass slab, so we cannot measure from outside. Then we have to transfer this. How? We can measure the thickness of the slab. From thickness we can find out the value of QR. How? Let T is this, so T by QR equal to cos R. T is the thickness, this is the thickness, by QR equal to cos R. Then QR equal to, we are getting from here, QR equal to T by cos R. Now we can put here T by cos R. Here it is sine I cos R minus cos I sine R. Now we can multiply with this T into sine I minus cos I into sine R by cos R. So this is the expression for lateral shift. And here also one problem. What is the problem? Problem is that we cannot measure R. It is inside the cluster. So we have to replace the value in this way. Mu equal to sine I by sine R, or sine R equal to sine I by mu. Then cos R equal to root over 1 minus sine square I by mu square. So here we can write root over mu square minus sine square I by mu. Now we have two values, sin r and cos r. We can put here. So here t sin I minus cos I. Sin r means sin I by mu, and cos r means root over mu square minus sine square I by mu. So here we can put, we can take out the sin I as a common. So 1 minus cos I by root over mu square minus sine square I. So this is the measurement of lateral shift. So what do you mean by lateral shift? When light ray passes through glass slab, parallel glass slab, then the incident ray and emergent ray, they are parallel, but lateral shift is there. Lateral shift means the perpendicular distance between the incident ray and emergent ray. Okay, so this way we can calculate. Now normal shift. What is normal shift? Normal shift means when let a particle is situated in a denser medium. This is denser medium. Denser medium, mu2, light ray incident here and goes without. This is the point object situated in denser medium, and a light ray incident here normally. So without change of direction, it will go to the rarer medium. Now another light ray is considered which is incident here and goes away from the normal, and when it will extend, it is the apparent position T. So this is the real position T, this is the real object, and this is the apparent one. So let this distance is D. So you have to explain that one light ray is considered who is incident here normally and goes without change of direction. Another light ray is considered incident here who is incident obliquely and goes away from the normal. So this angle is considered I2 as medium 2, and here it is medium 1. Now we have to find out the shift. The shift is this. So first Snell's law, mu1 sin I1 equal to mu2 sin I2. I said you have to keep in mind that Snell's law means in this form, not that mu equal to sin I by sin I. It will be a problem for the implement to solve the numericals. So better you keep in mind this formula. Now mu1 into sin I1. I1 means this angle AP1B, and equal to mu2 into sin I2 means this APB. Now here we can write mu1 into AB by, this is B. I am considering this one is B. So AB by AP1 equal to mu2 into AB by AP. So here we are getting a mu1 equal to AP1 equal to mu2 by AP. Now AP1 equal to AP into mu1 by mu2. This is the relation. Now if we consider this distance is D here, then D into mu1 by mu2. So here we can write for very small angle of incidence that AP1 can be converted to BP1 and this will be converted to BP. Okay. Actually this is coming from tan theta. Sin theta equal to tan theta for very small angle of incidence. So you have to mention here that angle of incidence I1 and I2 are small. I2 are small, very small. That's why we can convert the sin theta to tan theta. Then we can get this. Then what is the shift? The shift is D minus D into mu1 by mu2. D taking out 1 minus mu1 by mu2. And you can put the value of here mu1 equal to 1 and mu2 equal to mu. Then you will get D equal to 1 minus 1 by mu. So this is the way to find out the normal shift, and lateral shift I have said already. Now if instead of one medium, multiple medium present there, so multiple reflection is there, then what will be the apparent position? How we can find out? Let we have two medium. This one is d2 and refracting index is mu2. Here it is d1, refracting index is mu1. An object is situated here P, and when light ray incident normally at A and B, it goes without any deviation. Another light ray incident here by making certain angle. So, and after refraction, it is coming from P1. So this is the apparent position due to refraction on the first surface, first plane of separation, first plane of separation. Now this refracted ray incident here and goes, this is the air, goes away from normal, and again you extend, it will get, we will get here mu2, AP2. Now how we can find out? Like for these two media, we are getting that AP can be observed from here, from here. So AP by mu2 equal to AP1 by mu1. Or you can say that, or AP1 equal to D into mu1 by mu2. D2 into mu1 by mu2. Because this distance I will consider mu2, dt, and refracted index mu2. So this formula coming from where? From the last one. So means AP means real depth. So real depth is where we can see the real depth at mu2. That's why if we place I and mu2, then we can observe P. That's why AP is related with mu2. And AP1 can be seen from where? From here. From here we can see the P1. That's why I am considering that mu1. So AP1 can be seen from mu1. That's why this relation can be different. From the last one, we can use that concept of last theory. Now coming to the air medium mu equal to 1. So from 1, what we can observe? It is BP2. So BP2 can be observed from 1. This is P2, this is B. So BP2 can be observed from 1. So BP2 by 1. Now BP1 by mu1. Then BP2 equal to AB plus AP1 by mu1, and AB is what? D1 plus D2 mu1 by mu1, and here we are getting that BP2 equal to D1 by mu1 plus D2 by mu2. So if n numbers of medium present, dot be n by mu1. So this is the relation of this is the expression for apparent depth if more than one multiple refracting medium present. Okay. Now coming to the next point, that is critical angle. Critical angle is what? When light ray goes from denser to rarer medium, then for a particular angle of incidence, it will go along the plane of separation, which is known as, this angle is known as critical angle. So for a particular angle of incidence, the light ray will go through the plane of separation. So denser, it is mu2, here it is mu1. Now we are getting here mu2 into this angle sin theta c, mu2 into sin theta c equal to mu1 into sin 90 degree. So sin theta c equal to mu1 by mu2. If the this is air medium, then mu1 equal to 1. So we can find here sin theta c equal to 1 by mu, if it is air medium. Now if the angle of incidence is more than critical angle, what will happen? Then light ray will reflect by totally. This is called total internal reflection. So these are the important topics I have discussed, and these are important for entrance also, and this idea can be used for the next topic. That's why you should practice this if it is in your syllabus or not. Thank you.